It's a bad career move. But Sigourney Weaver isn't afraid of the show business establishment. She's been part of it from the day she was born. Her mother, Elizabeth Inglis, is a former British stage actress. Her uncle, Doodles Weaver, was a well-known comic actor. And her father, Pat Weaver, president of NBC in the 50s, is also one of the fathers of TV's golden age. Among his enduring creations, The Tonight Show and The Today Show. Weaver comes by her patrician bearing rightfully. She grew up in a world of privilege, the right address, the right schools. But she was a big girl. By age 11, she was nearly 6 feet.
If you're this tall when you're 11, nobody wants to dance with you at dancing school. I finally said to my mother, look, this dancing school thing, no more, you know, because it was just too painful.
Were you klutzy? Did you bump into the furniture?
Oh, everything, yes. I mean, I was just a walking disaster.
Her given name was Susan, but she thought that was too short for such a tall girl. One day, while reading The Great Gatsby, she came upon a character named Sigourney.
I thought it looked nice. It was nice and curvy and long.
Your father objected.
I think they were a little taken aback, but on the other hand, his name was Sylvester and he was called Pat, and my mother's name was Desiree and she was called Liz, so who were they to talk, you know? My uncle was an Uncle Doodle, you know.
Despite her unorthodox name, Sigourney followed a predictable path. She was a debutante, went to Stanford and then the Yale Drama School. After that came several years of work in cabaret shows and off-Broadway theater.
How the hell does that happen?
Then, in 1978, she screen tested for a part in a science fiction film, a part originally written for a man.
I thought, well, that's her. I mean, this almost never happens in movies, but this is one time it really did.
Alien quickly turned an unknown into a cover girl, and Weaver went on to become one of the movie's most versatile leading ladies. Along with her glamorous looks, she had a wide range, from steely to steamy to downright silly.
Are we still going out?
Do you want this body?
Is this a trick question?
Make me now, sub-creature.
We never talk anymore.
Hit films, rave reviews, 3 Oscar nominations. Weaver quickly became an actress of great stature, in more ways than one. Over 5'11" in bare feet, in heels, she towers over many men, but only one ever complained.
Chevy wasn't thrilled with my being his, I mean, he's a big guy.
6'4", right?
Yes, I was looking eye to eye with him, and I think it just sort of, he'd never experienced it before, you know. I felt badly, but I did say to him, look, you're the tallest man I've ever worked with, you know. Think of how Mel Gibson would feel.
Weaver's leading man off-screen is Jim Simpson, a stage director who works mainly off-Broadway. They met at a theater festival where she was the star and he was tending bar.
So I sort of went over like Joan of Arc, and I said, oh, hi, excuse me, would you like to dance? And he looked at me and he said, no.
No, because don't dance with the stars. I'm a bartender and I'm not supposed to do that. But of course, as she was walking away, I thought, well, I think you've made a mistake. And the rest is history.
Indeed it is. Weaver and Simpson got married. The urge to have a family came later while she was filming Gorillas in the Mist.
I remember sitting there in the muck, in the mud, in the rain, and I was being used as a trampoline by about 4 little baby gorillas, and they were jumping up and down on my stomach and pulling my hair and biting me and urinating on me, and I remember thinking, this is so great.
Inspired, she got pregnant. Daughter Charlotte is now 2. Sigourney took 3 years off to be a mother, and now she's back. Back to the future in Alien 3.
Get down!
It's been 6 years since the second Alien, and the new one has a style all its own.
More like a haunted house than a roller coaster ride, which is what people felt about the second one.
But let's just sort of get it right on the table. Is this film going to scare you down to your shorts?
Oh, gosh, yes. I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Ugh.
Alien 3 finds Ripley and that nasty lizard on board a penal colony in space that's infested with lice. The first day of filming, Weaver was lying nude under a sheet when she heard the director call for bugs.
And this guy comes over and he kind of goes like that, and up my nose and into my mouth, and in my ears were all these, I didn't know what they were. They just felt awful, you know, they're just, ugh. I was like, get the nurse.
After all that, the scene was cut from the film, but the unkindest cut was her haircut. In the movie, Ripley's head is shaved to ward off lice.
My husband was very sweet because he told me at the time that he thought it was very attractive, and very sexy. And then months later, when it had grown back, he said, God, I really hated it, you know.
A bigger challenge for the filmmakers was raising hair. How do you scare film fans who've made this trip twice before? With a new, improved alien that can do things like run upside down. It's faster, leaner, and yes, even meaner. Of course, the basic rules haven't changed. Rule 1, never peek in a dark place. Rule 2, watch your back. And Rule 3, always, always listen to Ripley.
I'm telling you, it's here.
Here and get that policewoman back to the infirmary.
This reptile with a bad attitude is actually a guy in a rubber suit, or more often, a series of intricate models run by wires and pulleys. And that goo? Well, it's the stuff fast food joints use to thicken their milkshakes. So what prompts that look of pure terror?
It wasn't that hard for me with the backdrop I have of all these years of encounters with the alien as Ripley, for me to think that this was the most awful moment of my life.
The last few weeks haven't been any picnic either. With the film due out next week, Weaver's been busy reshooting the end and re-recording her dialogue. These last-minute fixes have left Hollywood breathless with rumors that Alien 3 is in trouble, and the pressure on Sigourney is all the more intense because she fought to be one of the film's producers, and she's had a say in everything from the script to the score. Remember, Sigourney says if the film flops, she'll get the blame. She, after all, is a woman operating in a man's world.
If women ran Hollywood, what would be different?
I don't know.
Frankly,
See, I don't
she was
expect the
stumped.
leadership to come
But
from
then, a
Hollywood.
few days later, we got a call from